8:45. This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. Here is the news, edited by Sanjay Paladenia and read by Indrani Senanayake. The headlines. Legal amendments to conduct the provincial council election will be introduced soon. UNICEF welcomes the reopening of schools in Sri Lanka, calls for concerted effort to mitigate learning losses. Health officials warn that there is a risk of re-emergence of COVID clusters if people gather in places of worship. 490 new cases of COVID-19 reported today. World oil prices on the rise. In world news, Kashmir tensions rise as Indian soldiers shot dead. The Parliament's Select Committee has decided to introduce legal amendments soon to conduct the provincial council election. The committee met recently under the chairmanship of Minister Dinesh Gunawardena. Minister Basil Rajapaksa pointed out that many problems have arisen since provincial councils were not functioning for more than 3 years. He said that only provincial councils are not functioning. Therefore, the finance minister emphasized that the provincial council election should be held soon. The committee members said that the election should be held under the old system. Chairman of the committee, Minister Dinesh Gunawardena, said it is suitable to present necessary legal amendments in Parliament to conduct the election in January. The need to take steps for a fair representation of women was emphasized. The opinion of the majority have been favorable to a mixed election system. The chairman said that political parties and independent groups who gave statements at the committee were of the same view. The UNICEF commends the government of Sri Lanka for its decision to reopen primary schools, grades 1 to 5, for in-person learning from the 21st of October, and urges for swift steps towards a full resumption of all schools across the country, while ensuring that all the measures are taken for a safe return, UNICEF said in a media release. Global evidence continues to show that schools do not drive the spread of COVID-19 in the community, and the virus does not pose a high risk to children. Evidence also indicates that teachers are at a lower risk of infection in school settings compared to the general adult population. Despite some brief periods of opening, physical operations of the schools in Sri Lanka have been severely limited since initial closures in March 2020 in a swift move by the government to control the COVID-19 pandemic. Health Minister Keheliya Rambukwella stated that Sri Lanka is now among the top 4 countries in the world in terms of vaccinations. At a ceremony held in Kandy yesterday, Minister Rambukwella stated that about 74% of the COVID deaths in Sri Lanka were persons who have not received the COVID vaccine. Meanwhile, health officials warn that there is a risk of the re-emergence of COVID clusters if people gather in places unnecessarily, including places of worship. Therefore, at a media briefing held in Colombo today, Deputy Director of Health Services, Dr. Hemantha Herath, requested that proper health advice be followed when engaging in religious observances. This news comes to you from the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation.
Get a personal loan for your marriage, education or housing within 24 hours with People's Bank Digital Banking.
We continue with local news. The Health Ministry says that another 419 persons have tested positive for the coronavirus so far today. This brings the total number of COVID-19 cases registered in the country to 526,873. Accordingly, at present, 33,020 infected persons are under medical care, while total recoveries have risen to 480,499. Meanwhile, the Director General of Health Services has confirmed another 23 coronavirus-related deaths in the country, increasing the death toll in the country due to the virus to 13,354. According to the figures released by the Government Information Department, the deaths reported today include 11 males and 12 females. 5 of the victims are between the ages of 30 to 59 years, while the remaining 18 are ages 60 years and above. World oil prices have increased sharply today as many of the world's major economies face an energy crisis. The price of a barrel of Brent crude oil increased by about 2% to $84.1, while the price of a barrel of American WTI oil increased by 2.5% to $81.30. Accordingly, the Brent crude oil prices have reached their highest level since October 2018, and US oil prices have reached their highest levels since 2014. Next, we take a look at the main news story.
Get a personal loan for your marriage, education or housing within 24 hours with People's Bank Digital Banking. People's Bank Digital Banking, your ultimate convenience.
A mother knows the pain of each member of the family. Siddhalepa, the trusted relief for aches and pains.
An effective therapy for relief from cold, sneezing, flu, headaches, swelling due to toothaches, rheumatic, discomforts, and muscular aches and pains. Siddhalepa, the Vidya Mahatmya in every home.
The main news story is brought to you by Siddhalepa Vidya Mahatmya.
Giving COVID vaccines to academic and non-academic staff of universities and institutions affiliated to universities between the ages of 20 and 30 years commenced today. Chairman of the University Grants Commission, Professor Sampath Amaratunga, said that vaccinations will continue until the 15th of this month. The chairman said that they can get the vaccine from the nearest university or affiliated institute due to travel restrictions. The date of the commencement of universities will be decided after the 15th. He requested them to take the university identity card or a document to confirm their identity. That was the main news story. Watchlight follows.
The main news story was brought to you by Siddhalepa Vidya Mahatmya. Brush your teeth twice a day for healthy teeth and gums. Supiriviki and Kakulu, your trusted brands in oral care for many years.
Supiriviki Ayurvedic toothpaste for adults. Kakulu Ayurvedic toothpaste for kids. 9 Ayurvedic ingredients of Supiriviki will protect your teeth and strengthen your gums. Supiriviki and Kakulu, products from Siddhalepa.
And now in Watchlight.
The Institute of Certified Management Accountants of Sri Lanka will conduct another knowledge-sharing, continuing professional development virtual webinar on New Securities and Exchange Commission of Sri Lanka, Act number 19 of 2021 tomorrow from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. via an online Zoom platform. Those who wish to attend are requested to send an email to registration@cma.srilanka.org. That was a look at Watchlight. A bulletin of world news will follow.
World News.
The headlines: Kashmir tensions rise as soldiers shot dead. China bans British beef again over a mad cow disease. Large fire at oil facility in crisis hit Lebanon. The Indian Army says 5 of its personnel have been shot dead by suspected militants in Indian-administered Kashmir. They were killed after fighting erupted during a search operation today close to the line of control which separates Indian and Pakistan-controlled Kashmir. It is said to be the deadliest attack on army forces since February. Tensions have escalated amid a wave of civilian killings by suspected rebels. China has banned British beef imports of cattle under 30 months of age after a case of bovine spongiform cephalopathy or mad cow disease in the UK last month. The ban took effect from the 29th of September, according to a statement from the General Administration of Customs. China has yet to restart buying beef from the UK after agreeing in 2018 to lift previous restrictions. Beijing imposed a ban in the 1990s during earlier outbreaks of BSE. Firefighters said they have extinguished a large blaze at an oil facility in southern Lebanon, which is in the grip of a severe energy crisis. The fire erupted this morning in a petrol tank belonging to the army at the Zaharani oil installation, sending a plume of black smoke into the sky. No casualties have been reported. The facility is close to one of Lebanon's two biggest power plants, which both had to be shut down 2 days ago because of a shortage of fuel. To end this bulletin of world news, the headlines again. Kashmir tensions rise as Indian soldiers shot dead. China bans British beef again over mad cow disease. Large fire at oil facility in crisis hit Lebanon. That ends this bulletin of world news. A look at development news next.
And now in development news.
The General Manager of Sri Lanka Railways, Dhammika Jayasundara, says Sri Lanka Railways has launched a new program to attract tourists. Jayasundara said steps have been taken to introduce steam trains, air-conditioned compartments and upgrading railway stations in tourist hotspots. Jayasundara, speaking at a media briefing at the Government Information Department, said the upcountry railway line is a major attraction amongst tourists due to the beauty of the surrounding areas. He said discussions will be held with the Ministry of Tourism to garner their support in developing train stations. That was development news. Up next is sports news.
Sports news.
Royal Challengers Bangalore bowlers Dushmantha Chamira and Wanindu Hasaranga have been released from the IPL bio bubble to join the Sri Lanka team ahead of next week's T20 World Cup qualifiers, which starts on the 17th of October. As a result, the duo will miss the Royal Challengers eliminator against the Kolkata Knight Riders on Tuesday night. Both Hasaranga and Chamira were signed as replacements ahead of the UAE leg of the season. Hasaranga played just 2 matches and didn't pick up a wicket, while Chamira didn't take the starting 11 at all. That was sports news. Up next is business news.
Cash through NSB globally and win wonderful gifts locally. Will you be the lucky winner of the NSB Golden Jubilee? 50 Go sovereigns for the top prize winner of the NSB Golden Jubilee. Scooters for the 10 second prize winners. iPhones for the 10 third prize winners. Mountain bikes for the 29 fourth prize winners. From October 1st, 2021 to September 30th, 2022. Remit a minimum of $100 or an equivalent amount in any foreign currency through NSB U Trust for 6 months consecutively. Send more money and increase the chances of winning.
This was news, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
Continuing its support towards accelerating the digital transformation and technology diffusion in the country, SLT Mobitel, the national ICT solutions provider, has joined hands with the Computer Society of Sri Lanka as the platinum sponsor of the 39th National Information Technology Conference 2021. NITC is one of the most respected and anticipated ICT events in Sri Lanka and in the region. Due to the prevailing COVID-19 situation, this year's conference will be held as a virtual conference tomorrow and the day after. That was business news. Next is economic news.
This was news, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
Cash through NSB globally and win wonderful gifts locally. Will you be the lucky winner of the NSB Golden Jubilee? 50 Go sovereigns for the top prize winner of the NSB Golden Jubilee. Scooters for the 10 second prize winners. iPhones for the 10 third prize winners. Mountain bikes for the 29 fourth prize winners.
Economic news. courtesy of...
Saving money isn't easy when you have responsibility. That's why we promise to give you the best returns and guarantee on your investment. LOLC Finance Fixed Deposits. Maximize your savings. LOLC Finance PLC, incorporated on the 13th of December 2001, is rated SLA stable by ICRA Lanka Limited and is licensed by the Monetary Board of the Central Bank of Sri Lanka under the Finance Business Act number 42 of 2011.
Giving a thumbs up for the leisure industry as Sri Lanka has been placed among the top 5 leading wellness tourism destinations for 2021 by the Global Wellness Institute. The Minister of Tourism, Prasanna Ranatunga, pointed out that after the COVID situation, a large number of tourists of the world have focused their attention on mental and physical health. The minister mentioned this at a meeting of ministers held in conjunction with the International French Tourism Exhibition being held currently in Paris, France. That was economic news. Finally, a look at the weather report.
I bought my daughter a laptop for her work by managing my finances. Whatever the expenses may be, I can't afford to miss out on life's special moments like her birthday or our anniversary. So you need to invest to make your family's future flourish.
Saving money isn't easy when you have responsibilities. That's why we promise to give you the best returns on your investment. LOLC Finance Fixed Deposits. Maximize your savings. LOLC Finance PLC, incorporated on the 13th of December 2001, is rated SLA stable by ICRA Lanka Limited and is licensed by the Monetary Board of the Central Bank of Sri Lanka under the Finance Business Act number 42 of 2011.
Weather report.
The Met Department says showers or thundershowers will occur at times in the western, Sabaragamuwa, central and northwestern provinces and in the Galle and Matara districts. Fairly heavy showers, above 75 millimeters, can be expected at some places in the Sabaragamuwa and central provinces. Showers or thundershowers may occur at a few places in the northern and Uva provinces in the afternoon or at night. Wind speed can increase up to 50 kilometers per hour at times on the western slopes of the Central Hills, the northern, north-central and southern provinces and in the Trincomalee district. That was the weather report. To end tonight's news broadcast, we take a look at the headlines again. Legal amendments to conduct the provincial council election will be introduced soon. UNICEF welcomes the reopening of schools in Sri Lanka, calls for concerted efforts to mitigate learning losses. Health officials warn that there is a risk of the re-emergence of COVID clusters if people gather in places of worship. 490 new cases of COVID-19 reported today. World oil prices on the rise. In world news, Kashmir tensions rise as Indian soldiers shot dead. That ends this news broadcast.